to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and thanks for joining me and two very, very special people here today, Dr. Sheri Keffer and Dr. Daniel Amen here. We're so grateful to have both of them on, or I'm grateful to have them, and taking your calls. We've got all the calls lined up, but we are, if you want to watch us on Facebook, you can see us on Facebook there. And as we record a program, we also are doing it Facebook Live at the time that we record it. But hi, Sheri, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I was just waving at our Facebook gang. Hey, everybody.
Well, Dr. Amen, thank you for being with us here again today. How are you doing today?
I am doing great and so grateful to be with both of you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Sheri a very on-the-spot, non-prepared question. But, Sheri, you worked with Dr. Amen and his team and so many people over there at the Amen Clinic in Costa Mesa. Tell me something that changed the way you do what you do, or something that impacted your life from working with him, because you've turned around and you're impacting thousands of lives yourself. But what was it that when you look back, boy, this was important to you?
You know, Dr. Amen, I can honestly say one word, and that's everything. You changed everything about the way that I not only see clients, but see people, see myself, see family members. Without an understanding of the most significant organ in our body, the brain, it's impossible to really understand relationships or even live in health and peace and truth. If your brain is lying to you because it's got negative beliefs attached to it, then you're going to live in a very down, depressed sort of way. But the thing that you taught me, and I remember this from how many clients come to you, and many come in some of them in desperate times, like they've been everywhere else, and you're their last place of hope. But seeing folks come in and then seeing them change has given me and empowered me to not be overwhelmed when a brain issue comes my way, but to get them to you, to get them help, to start them on a program so that they don't have to stay where they are because the brain changes. And so that changed everything, and I'm ever grateful for you.
I think that's
Thank
huge.
Thank you so much. One of the most common things people say is you are our last hope. And it used to really make me anxious when they would say that. But we just have a different way of thinking that works. When you fall in love with your brain, you treat it better, and then it works for you rather than against you.
Well, that's what I think happened for me when I went to see you, is I discovered things I didn't know were going on with my brain. But the better news was I discovered things that I could do. I was exercising today. I walked as if I was in a hurry, which is what you told me to do, and then I would jog. Well, before you, I might go out and jog for 30 minutes, 40 minutes at a time. And it kind of numbed my brain a little bit. And it just makes sense. There was a different way. Just something that simple I learned from you. My brain should not go out and jog over a long time. I need to do spurts and starts and stops. It made a difference, just that little thing. But there were so many other things. There are things you can do to make yourself better tomorrow. And Dr. Amen will help you with that. We'll be back right after.
For years, all I did was focus on my husband, and my needs were unmet because of his sexual addiction. The counselors focused on him, and all the books I read were about him and how to help him.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
This weekend gives me permission to now focus on me.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
I am so thankful to New Life for giving me what I know now is going to be a new life.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas June 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We're offering Dr. Amen's book, The End of Mental Illness, a gift of any amount. You call us and we'll get that book to you as soon as we can. I'm telling you, it will change your perspective on maybe you've been labeled and you just hate that, or you're known by your diagnosis or something. This is going to change your attitude. And if you're with somebody and you've been relating to the diagnosis versus the person, this will change your attitude too. And I just can't encourage you enough to get it. $25.99 on Amazon. Any gift of any amount, I'm going to send it to you, and we'll try to get it to you as soon as we can. Let's go to Michael, Riverside, California. He listens on a podcast, and we're glad that he does. Hi, Michael. How are you today?
Hello, Steve. How are you doing today? Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. Your phone, we've got a little problem with our system, I think, at least on my end. And so I'm going to ask you to be really brief with your question, and we'll do the best we can with it, okay?
Sure. Is this better for you?
Well, it's not, for me, it's not great. But you go ahead and ask your question, and we'll let Dr. Amen do his best here.
Okay. I recently been diagnosed with ADHD and OCD. I started taking Vyvanse, and Zoloft. Vyvanse is for the ADHD, and Zoloft is for the OCD. However, I noticed that the Vyvanse works for the OCD as well. The OCD is dissipated, but I still have it a little. I also have a tremendous amount of childhood trauma. I am in recovery. So basically, with my trauma, my ADHD, my OCD, how can I better my brain? I do exercise. I eat a tremendous amount of blueberries. And I'm just trying to take all the proper steps of eating properly and healing my brain as well. So any suggestions, Dr. Amen? By the way, thank you very much for everything you've done. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
So it's actually not uncommon to have both ADD and OCD. And ADD medications tend to make OCD worse, and OCD medications tend to make ADD worse. And so it's a bit of a quandary. A long time ago, I realized there was a connection between growing up in an alcoholic home and ending up with both of those diagnoses, because people who have untreated ADD have a higher incidence of substance abuse, and then there's more childhood trauma for the people growing up in that house. Exercise is the universal treatment because it helps ADD and it helps anxiety, depression, and OCD. So making sure you're taking care of your brain. And then I actually like the combination of Vyvanse and Zoloft for people who have both of those. You know, over time, I've been moving toward more natural options. There's about 20 studies now on saffron showing that the world's most expensive spice that turns out to be actually a fairly inexpensive supplement.
What is that?
Saffron.
I didn't hear.
saffron.
Okay.
The supplements that are now using saffron, and in about 20 randomized placebo-controlled trials, been shown to be as effective as antidepressant medication.
Wow.
If I was you, I would take a multiple vitamin fish oil, optimize your vitamin D level, for sure add exercise, learn how to not believe every stupid thought you have. And with OCD, it's really interesting. Whenever you have an obsessive thought, or you engage in a compulsive behavior and you let yourself do that, you're more likely to do it again. So thought-stopping techniques are really helpful, and initially it just skyrockets your anxiety. But if you can stay with the anxiety and then not get into the behavior, pretty soon the anxiety will actually begin to dissipate. And it's true for things like pornography, for compulsively checking locks. And now just imagine in this time of the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, if you have OCD, how compulsively checking or washing can just get completely out of control. And the difference when, one, you're doing it in a ritualistic fashion to manage your anxiety versus you're doing it in a purposeful way to not spread germs. So it's very important time to get the OCD treated, but still wash your hands appropriately.
And you know what
Sheri.
else? I totally appreciate you, Dr. Amen. And I was also thinking with the childhood trauma, sometimes folks with OCD, sometimes it's genetic, and sometimes that brain in this hotbed of chaos gets turned up. It gets kindled like when I used to be in Girl Scouts, we would go start little fires, and we'd have to put kindling in there to start the fire, where the brain gets kindled and turned up as well. And so oftentimes when I'm working with folks where they've had chaos, one of their negative beliefs, this ant, that automatic negative thought that Dr. Amen talks about, a shame belief, is I'm not in control. And so when I work with someone with OCD, we often target those areas where they don't feel like they're in control, because my goal is to help change their mind, change their brain about that event that they've kind of held on to, fear has held on to it. When they believe the opposite, which is I'm now in control, meaning in this moment, I get their anxiety to begin to calm down, because they realize that control is really an illusion. But when they start owning that moment, like day to day, that's what the Lord invites us into. The EMDR helps to lock that belief in so that they are less anxious about things they used to be quite anxious about.
Well, I want to contrast what you just said here, some of the things you brought up, to a person who says, I'm depressed, it's chronic, there's nothing I can do, I don't have any money, I don't have resources. Most people can walk. That's an exercise that gets the brain moving. Most people can afford a supplement. Here's saffron. I mean, there are vitamins, there are foods that help rather than hurt, there's exercise, there's talking to a therapist. But if you can't afford a therapist, there are people, there are support groups that you can go to. There's so many things you can do. It's just hard to do it when you're depressed, but you work through it. You do the thing that is most uncomfortable, and it's incredible the difference that can make. And if you need help trying to figure out what to do, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we're going to help you the best we can. Let's go to Noel from Annapolis, Maryland, WAVA. Hi there. How could we help today?
Well, hi, Stephen, Dr. Raymond. I have a nephew that is paranoid, been diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. probably 15 years ago. He's about 36 now. And wanted to know your thoughts on that. Is there help for someone like him?
What do you think, Dr. Amen?
There absolutely is help. Think about paranoid schizophrenia not so much as a mental illness, but as a brain illness. And when we put the brain in a healing environment, the paranoid schizophrenia may not just go away, but certainly will get better. And I am a fan of the antipsychotic medication in combination with a brain health issue. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl, her name was Adriana, and she went to Yosemite on vacation with her family. And when they got to their cabin, they were surrounded by 6 deer. And the family thought it was a magical moment. But 10 days later, Adriana started to hallucinate. She became delusional, aggressive. She ended up in a psychiatric hospital. And the doctor who was trained at Stanford told the mother she has schizophrenia. She's always going to have schizophrenia, and she needed to be on medication for the rest of her life. And the mother just had to accept that. Well, if you knew the mother, you would know she would not just accept that. And about 6 months of standard psychiatric care, Adriana is a shell of herself. And when she came to see us, we just saw her brain was on fire. And we're like, why is her brain on fire? Well, it turned out she had Lyme disease from a tick-borne illness that she got from a deer. And on an antibiotic, she got her brain back and ended up graduating from Pepperdine with honors, and then recently got her master's degree from the University of London. Every day around noon, I get a text from her mother, how can I pray for you today? And if you take a map of the United States with the highest incidence of schizophrenia, well, it's the Northeast, the North Midwest, and the West Coast. And then if you overlay on that map the highest incidence of Lyme disease, they're virtually identical. And in my mind, what that means is if someone is diagnosed with a severe, chronic, psychotic disorder, somebody should be looking at what the heck's going on in their brain. And nobody does. And it's insane. I feel like I'm living at this time in history where we have, group insanity because we are not really helping these very sick people by doing everything we can for them. And people who have unstable bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, on average, die 10 years before everybody else.
Well, I am so glad that you... Go ahead, Noelle.
He lives in Oceanside, California, and did I hear you say one of your clinics is in Costa Mesa?
That's correct.
Yeah. So hold on, and we'll give you information on how to get in touch with that clinic, and it's the one that I go to, and I really think he could maybe have a breakthrough. One of the sweetest people at our workshop this past weekend said he was schizophrenic, and he learned to talk down some of the things that would come into his mind. Like Larry held up a book about narcissism, and he thought Larry was telling him that he needed this book about himself, and then he realized, wait a second, I'm in a group of people, and he was making the best of this, and so courageous and such a wonderful person, been listening to us for years. And I just think, if I could get him to your clinic, Dr. Amen, there might be some other stuff that we could do to help him. Folks, don't give up on when you get a label, a diagnosis, or a death sentence. There just may be some things that you've never done before, and it could, if it has to do with the brain, and you get in touch with Dr. Amen's clinic, it could be the beginning of a whole new way of living. All right, let's go over here to Steve from Boston, Massachusetts. WEZE is the station. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, great guys. How about yourself? Can you hear me okay?
Yes. The music's starting, so hold on, and we'll get to your question right after this. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-NEW-LIFE to get some help, gift of any amount, the end of mental illness. What it's saying is that there's a different paradigm, a different perspective, and you don't have to give in, succumb to some kind of hopeless, endless, forever diagnosis. There are things that can be done. But first we've got to look at the brain, the organ, and where all of this stuff is happening. And one of the few people in the entire universe, it's a big universe too, that looks at the actual organ is Dr. Amen, and he's helped a lot of other folks. If you need some help, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back talking with Steve from Boston, WEZE. So, Steve, you're on with Dr. Amen here. So, how can we help?
Well, question I have is how apparently I've been challenged with depression since 2017.
Okay.
I went into a hospital. I put myself into a hospital in 2018, a psychiatric hospital. During that time, between 2017 and 2018, was on different medications, but was also very angry at the time. My wife couldn't take it. So when I got out of the hospital, the car was packed up, and locks were changed in the house. Kids don't talk to me anymore. They're 28 and 30. We're getting divorced. And
okay.
So
what's the question today? How could Dr. Amen or Sheri or myself help you?
I guess how to move on from this thing. They said I was bipolar, but seeing a recent Christian psychologist, he says he believes you have a depressive disorder. You're not bipolar, and so I'm just trying to figure out how to move on. That's all.
All right. Well, that's a pretty tough situation. Let's see what Sheri and Dr. Amen have to say here.
Sure.
Sheri, you want to get us started on this?
Well, I think first off, Steve, I just want to say I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, it's so much loss. And I imagine there's been times that you've really felt hopeless or heartsick and not known where to turn. And I want just a quick answer. In 2017, before that, like the year before that, what happened? What happened in 2016 in your world?
Life was wonderful, praise the Lord. It was, business was good.
Okay, so you were doing really good and thriving before 2017. Have you ever had any depressive dip like this before growing up, or is this the first time?
Not that I know of, to be honest with you. I don't think so.
Okay. Dr. Amen, could you talk?
How old are you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
59. Going to be 60 in July.
Yeah. Anybody who is in their 50s or 60s and has a new onset depression that never had it before, I would get a CT scan of your abdomen, because what a lot of people don't know is pancreatic issues, pancreatic tumor, pancreatic cancer, often presents with a major depression. And I don't know that you have that. But I'm thinking life is great, and then all of a sudden you fall into a depression. It's sort of the whole point of the end of mental illness. It's like, well, what else could that be? Or what could be driving the depression? Remember, depression, in my mind, shouldn't be a diagnosis. It's a symptom cluster with many different causes. But the consequences are severe, which you're experiencing. You know, divorce, your kid's not talking to you, the docs are fussing over what your diagnosis. For me, I want to know what the heck is the cause of this. Could it be you were in a car accident, you had toxic exposure at work, something physically is going on, so hopefully they've checked your thyroid, your inflammatory markers, your testosterone level. And
yeah, they did.
Any struggle with addiction, Steve?
Yeah, there was. It was pornography.
Okay.
And there was, as I was saying, in 2017, I was going to a group that I was trying to work on that stuff, and it was really amazing. In this circle, it shows anxiety and depression, and I was in between that when I was in that group. It was the strangest thing. And life just hasn't been enjoyable at all. People say, well, what do you do for enjoyment? Well, I go bowling, but I feel like I'm not there. I go. Okay,
so but what have you done? What have you done about the pornography issue?
Well, I'm attending a Pure Desire group at our church. You often wonder, guys have graduated. I said, when do I graduate? It's,
all right, I want you to hold on. We'll try to give you a little more help here, because I don't know. Sometimes you have to do some pretty extreme things for a woman to see that I'm really serious about changing my character, and sometimes it takes more than just going to a group for them to really believe, wow, this is going to result in a different outcome than before. We'll be back.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer and Dr. Daniel Amen. Yes, I am a fan of Dr. Amen. And this book, I'm a very big fan of this book. Anytime a book has pictures in it, I'm a fan of that. And this book is so fascinating and is so insightful. You send a gift of any amount, and I'll get this book to you as quickly as I possibly can. The title is The End of Mental Illness. Now, Steve has called, and he's talking about all sorts of struggles, and his wife is going to divorce him. Sheri, you've been in this situation. What are you thinking here?
So you know what, Steve? I'm going to take a little bit of risk with you here because I'm just feeling, and I'm hearing your voice. But let me tell you one thing I'm concerned about. So guess what? I lost my husband. Just like your wife is losing you, I lost my husband, Connor, to porn. And I'm wondering if it's easier to make this situation that happened in your life about your brain instead of about what might have been partially responsible to lead to your collapse. Because, my friend, you lost it all. And I know it.
Did.
I know what it's like to be there.
I mean, it was, and then last year, lost the job too.
Yeah.
It's just been a really tough year.
No, I get it. But what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to put an exclamation point on the porn rather than putting a comma on it. Because I think that possibly had way more to do with the collapse of your brain and your body and your marriage and your kids not talking to you. And you have got to, my friend, get into a process of repair. Like one of the things I was thinking, I just thought, well, I wonder how many days of sobriety that you have. Like, when's the last time you've looked at any porn, soft porn, hard porn, you've gone looking to be stimulated by that? How many days?
To be totally honest, I can't really remember the last time I looked at it. I know I looked at it maybe, oh golly, I'm going to say maybe 6 months or 7 months ago.
Okay.
I really don't remember, to be honest with you, because I don't look at it. I've got covenant eyes on my phone.
No, I get it.
I
get it. But when I work with guys who have got a lifelong, porn issue, we develop something called a circle plan, where you've got your sobriety date right there in the center. You know that. This idea of, the guys graduate out. When am I going to graduate out? I want to say to you, my friend, you need some deeper care right now in this area. Patrick Carnes says it takes 2 to 3 years before you can establish some sobriety. So coming to an Every Man's Battle weekend, upping your care so that you're not still limping. You're still limping, my friend, in the world of recovery.
And let me ask you, Dr. Amen, is there anything, as you hear this, that you think might be helpful or might change some things here for him?
Well, I would be working on doing so for me, diagnostically, that's really important. The pornography clearly can be an issue, and it's ongoing. It drops function in the judgment centers of your brain. One question I have is, why aren't your kids talking to you? I mean, I can sort of understand your wife's.
It's interesting. So we never as a couple went to them saying we're going to get divorced. While I was in that hospital, she had said something to them, and they never responded to my phone calls. My daughter finally wrote me a letter that she's dealing with, because I had sent them a gift card at Christmas time, and they sent back the gift cards.
Do your kids know about the porn? Were there affairs? I mean, what?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I can't talk to them. They don't talk to me. They don't text me back. Actually, I was surprised. I texted my wife. I mean, I haven't physically spoken to my wife in a year. I've texted her many times. She texted me back. I actually texted my daughter about with everything that's going on with the coronavirus. How are you handling it? And she says, doing well, thanks.
I tell you, Steve, I wish we had more time, but if I were you, I would want to be pulling out all the stops here to become a different man, so that it would be so obvious I'm a different man that those kids would want to restore something with you. It's truly a tragic situation. I'm going to send you Every Man's Bible. I'm going to send you this End of Mental Illness. I'm going to ask you to consider going to Every Man's Battle. Maybe we can get a scholarship. But this is one of those situations where, I mean, big changes need to take place here so that you get your kids back, your life back. I don't know if there's hope for the restoration of the marriage, but whether there is or not, boy, I would be going after those kids. I would really be trying to heal those relationships. Let's go to John, Colorado Springs, Colorado. KGFT's the station. Hey, John, how are you today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good considering I had a stroke exactly 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
Okay. That's good that you're on the phone with us after 4 weeks after a stroke. That's wonderful. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I was wondering if Dr. Amen could give me some suggestions on how to recover and how to have a healthier brain and not have a stroke again.
Okay, I think we might have dropped him. I don't know if he's back on, but let's
back.
try to. Okay, good. So, he's back. How does he, after 4 weeks, what's his best path after a stroke?
So, in the End of Mental Illness, there's a whole chapter on blood flow. So, if you want to keep your brain healthy or rescue it, it's headed to the dark place. You have to prevent or treat the 11 major risk factors that steal your mind. And the mnemonic is bright minds, and the B in bright minds is blood flow. Having a stroke increases your risk of dementia tenfold. And so since you had one, the question is, well, why? Do you have hypertension? Are you smoking? Are you overweight or have diabetes? Any of those things. So know why, what's the vulnerability, and then starting now, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Whatever you go to do, is this good for my brain or bad for it? And if you can answer with information and love, that is going to be the beginning of how do we prevent the next stroke. And then I'm a big fan of hyperbaric oxygen because once brain tissue dies, we don't yet have the Lazarus treatment to bring the dead back to life, but we can get the surrounding tissue healthy. So to really improve your function. And so I'm like a big fan of hyperbaric oxygen because it's been shown to help heal the tissue around a stroke. And this is where eating right, exercising as you can, simple supplements, multiple vitamin, fish oil, know and optimize your vitamin D level. All of this is just critical. And brand new study last week. So those people who know me well, like Sheri, know I think table tennis is the world's best brain game. Well, there's a brand new study out on Parkinson's disease showing it actually improves Parkinson's disease for those who get serious. And strokes often affect the coordination center of the brain. So doing coordination exercises as you can, I mean, obviously you have to be able to do it, but as you can be really helpful as well. So I'm so glad you'll get a copy of The End of Mental Illness because it'll literally have 75, 80 suggestions on how to begin to improve your brain.
All right, you hold on. We'll get that book to you, and I'm really glad you called John. Thank you so much. We'll take a break. We'll come right back with more of Dr. Amen. The End of Mental Illness. It's a great book to have in times of uncertainty.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. You know, I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. You know, I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. You know, they'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, you know, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. You know, it's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, you know, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Got a little announcement to make here, and I'll let Larry Sonnenberg make it for us. But Larry, these are
challenging,
interesting times.
Yeah.
People have more time than ever, and so what have we done for them?
Well, what we want to do for you is, we have if you join Club New Life, one of the benefits is getting access to our video library. And between now and May 1, we want to open that up for everybody. You don't have to be a Club New Life member. These are difficult times. You're looking for answers. You're looking for hope. You're looking for healing. And we think this is something that might help people in these uncertain times where you just are kind of puzzled and at a loss and looking for help. So all you have to do is go to newlife.com, and right there on the home page, right underneath the big banner, there is a link. It's very evident that you just click that link and it takes you right into that video library. And
it is what we have, and we want you to have it. And we don't want to restrict it to anybody. And so many people have been helped by you just named the topic, whether it's hope or hopelessness or anxiety, it is there. But Larry, these are tough times for us, and so help people, motivate people, let them know how they can help us.
Well, one last thing on the library. There's 360 videos up there right now, so you'll have a lot to choose from.
That's one a day.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, we're almost there. Because these are such difficult and uncertain times, we face that at New Life too. But our belief is God's got this. And we had an illusion of certainty, and we thought we were certain, but we had an illusion of certainty, and that illusion is gone now. We know that God's got it; it's in His hands. We need your help to deal with the things that we don't know right now, because we're negotiating with people where we had to cancel events, hotels, and things because of restrictions on size of groups. You can't hold a meeting when there's only 10 people you can come. It doesn't make sense to have a workshop at that size. So we're struggling a little bit, wondering how is God going to help us through this? And we think you're the answer. We think that if you would just make a gift of support, if you would join Club New Life, if you would call up your foundation for those of you that are in that with that ability where you've created a foundation for giving, if you could make a gift any size, 10, 20, 50, 100 foundations, if you could give a lot more, we just need your help. Help us get through this time. We don't want to lose any effectiveness, any ability, anything that we're doing to help people.
So if you do, I'll send you this amazing book. It's a thick one. It's a great one. If you ordered it $25.99, I think it is on Amazon, we'll send it to you, a gift of any amount. It is yours. And we're grateful for all of the support that allows us to do this program, to have Dr. Amen on. Anything else you want to add there, Larry?
Not right now. Just get another call in here.
Okay, we'll take another call right now. How about we go to Suzanne from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and she listens online. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
How can we help today? Don't have a lot of time, but I did want to get to your call.
Thank you. I have a quick question. It's been in my mind for quite a while regarding my son. What of Dr. Amen's supplements might replace Vyvanse, which he's been on for ADHD? He's in his mid-50s, no longer taking that, has since had a traumatic brain injury, and is now cognitively depressed. And I just want to know supplements maybe that might help him.
Okay, what do you think?
At Amen Clinics, we actually did the world's first and largest study on active and retired NFL players. So people who had serious knocks to their head. And 80% of our players got better when we put them on a multiple vitamin, really high-quality multiple vitamin, high-dose fish oil, and a brain boost that works in multiple ways. So earlier today, Steve, you had talked about Max. We make something called Brain and Body Power Max. And that was the NFL formula that I used. Now, we also told them to eat right and exercise and do the other brain healthy things I talk about in the end of mental illness. And sometimes I get criticized, being a psychiatrist, but I also own a supplement company. But the reason I did that is when I started scanning the brain in 1991, some of the medications I was prescribing were not all that good for the brain. And so I'm like, first do no harm, use the least toxic, most effective treatment. Now, I'm not opposed to Vyvanse or Adderall or things like that. I make something called Focus and Energy because it's another way to use supplements to try to, use science to improve someone's focus and blood flow to the front part of their brain. That's what Vyvanse and Adderall do. So we should send you a copy of The End of Mental Illness. There's a chapter in it called Mind Medicine versus Nutraceuticals, which are supplements that have pharmaceutical effects. And in it, there's this great chart of what supplements have A-level scientific evidence. That means more than 2 randomized placebo-controlled trials showing they're effective. And I have them for ADHD, depression, anxiety, addiction, insomnia, and so on. And in that just one chapter all by itself has 286 scientific references. Because in medical school, I didn't get one lecture on supplements for mental health or brain health, but there is actually a rich science showing their efficacy.
I got to say this real quickly. So I was working with you, Dr. Amen, when you did that study, and I'll never forget the day I walked into the main room there where we would meet as a staff, and you had pictures of NFL brains right through your spec studies before and after. And some of these guys had not only had helmet injuries, right, but they had been boxers before, and their brains looked really bad. But after they went through the repair program, those brains were beautiful. There was so much change. So that right there gave me so much hope that you can change your brain with things that you do to make it better.
Yeah. So Suzanne, I just I can't encourage you more. You can go to what is the website for the supplements where I get my stuff, Dr. Amen? I forget what it is.
BrainMD.com.
Yeah.
So BrainMD.com.
And you've got a place in Reston, Virginia that she may want to take her son. He's 50. He's young. And maybe right now would be a good time for him to get a SPECT scan.
Would be a great time to try to understand what's going on and what's causing the trouble. And it's just like Sheri said, you're not stuck with the brain you have. Do the right things, and it can be better.
Well, Dr. Amen, thank you for being here. I always look forward when you're on, especially during these times. I want to encourage people, go to newlife.com, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Help us if you can. We'll send you this amazing book, The End of Mental Illness. Also, maybe there's a counselor that it's time for you to just go. And that's the thing. You just go. You don't have to do anything but just go and let them help you work through whatever it is that the problem is. Great scripture for you, Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. God is in control. He's got this. We love you. You call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE if we can help you in any way. And go access that video library at newlife.com.
We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.